hello to each and every one of you, and thank you for joining today. Thank you for tuning in. So, Real Talk with Odun, what is it all about? Real Talk with Odun is a show for women. It's basically just a platform where women come, we sit down, we gist. You know all those gists we used to do when there's no camera. Yes, so we come on Real Talk and we gist about it. So far, we've had fantastic topics. We've talked about fantastic things that are relatable to an average woman. That's what we've done so far, and we hope to keep that going. So that's just a little bit of an introduction about Real Talk with Odun, and we are so glad you're joining us today. Thank you once again so much. Okay, let's go right straight into it. So today we'll be talking about sustaining relationship, and I have one of our returning guests, Kem, and then we have a new guest who will soon be a returning guest too, Ble Ble. Does anybody ever call you Ble Ble?
I hate that
name. Okay, so now I know I won't call you Ble Ble. So let's come to you. How are you doing today? Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm grateful. It's the month of Thanksgiving, so looking forward to that.
Yes.
The weather is changing. It's affecting everybody, including the kids.
Yeah.
But taking it easy, one day at a time.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. So let's come to you, Kem. Or do you like Kem?
Kems. The above.
Okay. All right. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again. I'm excited to be back on the show today.
Thank you so much. Okay, Blessing, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? A little bit of an introduction.
Okay, my name is Blessing Douglas, or that's my maiden name, and then I'm married, so Blessing Douglas Jacobs. I have a daughter, Atara, who has Dio Jacobs, and we're currently living in the US, in Virginia. And
we are losing your audio. I think
Five.
you need to speak up a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
So
Atara.
Atara is my daughter.
Let's welcome Atara to the show. She's waving.
Yeah. So I work 9 to 5. I work in the healthcare industry, in the healthcare administration stuff, and I also have a small business, Atara Baby. I focus on skincare, organic skincare for kids. That's about it.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, and I hope you get to send us some of Atara Baby skincare. Okay.
Sure, whenever.
Yeah. All right, Kemi, can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kemi Omotajo. I am I'm a woman, of course.
Of course.
I am. I'm just a HR professional during the week and a hairstylist by weekend. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
A hairstylist by weekend. So I spend most of my time. I really enjoy doing hair, have a passion for it. So it's kind of my side hustle right now, but I'm hoping to turn into a full-time business in no time. I'm praying that God will help me to excel it. But it's been doing really well, and I really thank God for that. So that's pretty much. Oh yes, I'm married, and I have 2 beautiful daughters.
Alrighty. Thank you. Drum roll for our guest of today. Thank you both so much. We appreciate it. So I'm gonna promise you guys we are gonna stick to 1 hour. Once it's 4 o'clock, we are done. Okay? Promise. Alright, so let's go straight into it. Sustaining relationship. Let me start with you, Kemi. What does relationship mean to you?
Relationship to me means having a bond with someone. It means it goes beyond just romantic. Most people think when they think of relationship, they think romantic, but it goes beyond that. There's friendship, there's family, there's co-workers, there's business relationships. So it's just kind of like something that forms a partnership between you and another person or a set of people. That's really what I think relationship means.
Okay. All right, thank you. I like that word, partnership between two individuals or a set of people. So it means you can have a relationship with the whole family. One person can actually have a partnership with the whole family. I really like that. Blessing, let me come to you. What does relationship mean to you? Okay, let me twist that question a bit. Relationship, are there different types of relationship? Do you think there are different types of relationship, or is it just one fits all, like Kemi just said?
Certainly, there are definitely different types of relationship because kind of relationship you have with different people also reflects on how you impact your life and how you impact their life. And so it also helps you to manage your expectations with people, and it also helps you in your journey on evolving, right? So you know how you're growing, your growth with each person, because everything cannot be the same. So if it's a sexual relationship, a romantic relationship, the expectations and all of the commitments you have to that relationship is different from your friendship.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you to Atara, because we can hear you contributing. Okay, so in light of what you just said, Blessing, what exactly should you look for in a relationship? Like, we are not talking about romantic relationship, obviously. We are talking about, because we know a lot of things has been going on. When you go on social media and you hear stories of friends backstabbing themselves, someone snatching their friend's husband, and all that. So we're actually in particular about relationships that women keep. So I want to ask you this: what do you look for in a relationship? As a woman, what is it that you should look for in a relationship?
So as a woman, at different stages of your life, you have different needs. And I've seen that happen with me in my personal life experience. So while I was in school, there's this saying, that is to us. I can't say it in Yoruba, but it says, meaning is 20 children cannot live together for 20 years. So along the way, some people fall on the side, some people work together, and some go on a different track. So for me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, there are a few values that I expect, and those are the things I use to watch myself and manage myself. The moment I see that those things are not reflected in the relationship, I do a check and evaluation, and then I decide whether or not I want to keep that relationship. So I look at acceptance, I look at loyalty, I look at support, I look at trustworthiness, and I check to see if this person is dependable, because I go all out for my friends. I'm a ride or die kind of person. So I want to see if we can reciprocate, and if I get that kind of vibe, I don't like one-sided relationships. I don't like take. Parasitic relationships with no. Everything about my relationship has to be symbiotic. It has to be a two-way track.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we need a bit of volume from you, because are you hearing that clearly?
No.
Okay, so we need a bit of volume from
you.
It's like cutting in and out.
I'll go close to my mic now.
Yes, please.
Because I'm using my laptop.
Yeah, so let's give you a few. Are you done with that?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay, it's very better. It's better now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so Kemi, I want to go back to what she said about having a symbiotic relationship. I know some relationship like where you get to, you take, and you just become a pest. I call it a pesticide relationship, where all you do is just to give a part of you, and the other person just keeps taking, and you're not getting anything back. So I want to ask, for you that you're in that kind of a relationship, is it that your core values does not align?
I believe yes, to a certain extent it could be that your core values don't align, because that person may not value you as a person. Because I believe that if you value someone as a person, not necessarily what you can get from them, you wouldn't just be, every time I need something I'll call so and so. Every time I know I want my hair done in some certain situation, I know I can call Kemi because that's all I need from her. But you don't value Kemi as a person. We don't value Odun as a person or Blessing as a person. So I look for, when I think of relationship, I look for people that value you as a person. Like if I don't do hair anymore, if I don't have anything that you absolutely need, will you still be my friend? Will we still have a good relationship? Will we have anything to talk about, you know, outside of that? Or is it just, oh, whenever I need something, I'll just call her? Or like, so to me, like, that's how I see friendship. So if we don't align in that area, then our relationship is just gonna fall apart. Because once that one thing that you keep coming to me for is gone, you don't have any business with me.
There's no foundation.
There's no foundation, right?
Thank you so much. So and Blessing, I want us to talk about core values a bit, because I always tell people, especially those that are close to me, my friends, I'm an open book, and so I tell you straight up, this is what I am, this is who I am, and I believe if I tell you those values of mine, they should at least align with yours to a certain extent. Do you agree with that?
For me, it doesn't happen with talking about things upfront. It doesn't happen like defining the relationship. So for me, I already look at the person's personality, and the personality is what attracts me. And if I see that there's positive energy, because I've seen this person has this personality and core values that I'm looking for, and if I see that, okay, this person is my friend, the person is warming up to me, it automatically just makes me feel like the person has the same intentions, because it's almost like we are like different areas in our life, career, you know, things that we talk about, our goals, you know, our future, everything just is working out, and you're comfortable with the person, you're comfortable to the person, you know, the person is trustworthy, you know, all of these things. You know that wherever you go, you're safe with this person. So that's how it happens to me. And I don't have to question myself when I'm with the person. But if I am in that situation where I feel like I have to question anything, then I need to have a conversation. And if you cannot communicate, you cannot have a conversation with the person, then there is a problem. That's when you now, okay, maybe you saw it all, but then you got into the relationship and there's some red flags. And if that person is not willing to address it, then it's time to leave, because if you stay and become more and more invested, that's how a beautiful relationship
starts.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So Kemi, I saw you smiling when she was talking. Do you want to add to what she said?
She said something about personalities, that when your personality gels, and how like that's something she looks for. I definitely agree. Sometimes I find myself attracted to people that my personality is kind of different from theirs. Like maybe they're more out there, they're very likable by so many people, and I find myself looking at them like, oh, I would love to be that person's friend, just because their personality is just like everybody's attracted to their or it's kind of different from mine, because it's like, okay, I'm not like that, but I like that, and I would aspire to be like that.
All right, thank you so much. So I want us to go to types of relationships. I know we mentioned symbiotic, we mentioned what I call pesticide relationship, but yeah, because you turn to a pest when you keep taking from me. So I was reading a book somewhere, reading a book or listening to a message, and the pastor said, you don't bring everybody into the holies of holies. If you're a Christian, you know what I'm talking about when we talk about holies of holies. The holies of holies is very sacred. So you don't bring everybody into that kind of a relationship. He said there are friends you stop at the gates. There are friends you bring into the room. There are friends you bring, maybe you take them upstairs. And there are friends that actually come into the room. So I want us to actually talk about that. Should you bring everybody that you call friends? Should you bring them into your holy of holies? Blessing.
I mean, I don't like stress. Okay. I don't like stress. First of all, I won't even classify you as my friend if I cannot bring you close to me. So I call them acquaintances.
Okay.
So if you're not my friend, you're my acquaintance. If you're my friend, then you have passed all the tests to be able to come to my inner room, to my inner chambers. That's why I do not have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people on Instagram, yeah. But physically, you will not see me hanging out. When I'm doing my snaps and my videos, you don't see me hanging out around battalions of people. I'm not that social butterfly that always has a million and multitude of people. But the few people that I have, you know that those people are my ride or die. They are not just I have friend for this one, I have friend for that one, I have friend. No, they encompass the entire, the entire values and the entire substance that I try to see when I'm on nursing friendship. And as I grow, they grow up, so we grow together and we each other up. It doesn't matter if we're in different places. My best friend is in Canada. We don't talk every day, but every day I pick up the phone, Halima, and her name is Halima, and we talk. It's like we spoke yesterday. That's the kind of, you don't need a friendship that is high maintenance. The ones that when you call them, you didn't come last week, what were you doing? I'm not your husband now. You coming down. So when I call you, we pick up about we left the state, we have very interesting conversations. There's something to take from the conversation. It's like it's just amazing. So that's how I see it.
Thank you.
You have to put me to be in my inner room, and I don't need to stress myself by making so many friends that I have to now start differentiating which one will come to inner room and which one will stay at the gate.
Thank you so much. I get you. I know. I understand what you're saying, but there's some people that have a lot of friends.
Oh yeah.
Some people just have it. They just have and everybody's their friend. That person is my friend. That person is my friend. So that's kind of a person. Do you bring every of those friends into your inner circle? Or is it a must for you to have an inner circle? I know someone personally that is like that has a lot of friends. Everybody is a friend. I'm actually asking this question for her. I know she's watching. Because So do you bring everybody into your inner circle?
I don't think so. I think the people that are in your inner circle are those people that understand you the deepest. Like, you can talk about anything with them. Nobody's judging each other. Nobody's saying, why are you talking like that? Or even if we fight, we finish our fight and then we move on. There's nothing that, nothing stops the flow of the friendship. So I feel like those are the people that enter your inner circle. Anybody that is going to come into that inner circle of your life has to have been through stuff with you. They have been there for you. You have been there for each other. You have been through things. You have seen things together. You understand, each other's dynamic. This is Kemi's personality. She doesn't care about stuff like that. And that I care about stuff like that. And nobody's angry at each other because, she shouldn't care as much as I care. Or she cares more about.
I call her more than she calls
exactly.
me. Exactly.
Exactly. For me, if it gets to that point, like if you're already picking and choosing and saying, "Oh, how come you're not doing this for me? You're doing it for this person," I don't think you're really friends with that person, because you shouldn't be getting offended by little things like that. If we're truly friends, if I do one thing for one person and you didn't like it and you didn't talk, and then you're having an attitude, then. That's like Blessing said, that's stressful. I don't want to be asking what happened, what did I do, how did I offend you? Like, if you can't open up and say, oh, this is what you did to offend me, then why are we friends? Like, we should be able to tell each other the truth and open up and not be without fear of, oh, she's going to get angry, or she's going to stop talking to me, or whatever the case may be.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you both so much. So Blessing said something when she was talking. She said something about I grow, she grow, we grow together. That's huge to me. Now, if you're in a relationship, we've been talking about the symbiotic and the pesticide relationship, and you keep losing yourself. I want us to talk to someone that's in that kind of a relationship. Is it a must? Must you lose yourself to keep a relationship? Blessing.
Lie. No. That's not possible now. That's not necessary. So you shouldn't at all. Like that's if you find out that you're putting yourself in a relationship, keep the relationship, then the other person is selfish. Because if you're in a relationship, both of you should be concerned about each other. If I'm not happy, if something's going on in my life, you should be concerned. And like the way I am with my friends, for instance, let me give you an example. I called my friend now the other day, and we were talking. But from her tone, I could tell that something was wrong. She didn't want to talk about it. I was like, it's fine if you don't tell me about it right now, but I know that this is not you.
Something is
And I
wrong.
know that something is wrong. And you will definitely have to talk to me about it. And we are not going to have that conversation until this issue is addressed. And then she said,
No.
and then we had the conversation about what was wrong. That is what you call friendship. It's not, hey, baby, now it's it's everything that you want to say that matters. And then when you finish, dumping all the things on your mind on the present, then say bye bye, cheers, see you tomorrow. No, it's not always about you. So it's also about the other person. So you should inquire and try to find out what's up with your friend, the same way that friend is so invested in. So, it should be give and take. And the moment I find out that, and it's that way with me. So the moment I find out that I'm always the one concerned, I'm always the one asking questions, I'm always the one trying to make sure you're fine. It's not right now. Could you work like that?
She said Kolewek like that. Kolewek like that. Thank you so much. So you don't have to lose yourself to sustain a relationship or to maintain a relationship.
No.
If you keep giving and giving and giving and giving and you're not getting anything back, then it is not a relationship.
Yep.
It's not a relationship. It is not a relationship. A relationship is give and take. I give, you give. I take, you take.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go out and you talk and talk and you tell me your day until we are leaving. And then when we are leaving, I got into the car and I'm angry. I didn't even get to talk about my day.
Exactly.
So let me also ask you your opinion about
losing
yourself.
you even more if you're the one that organized the event.
I'm telling you. Oh, you are the one that even drove. You now drop that friend off and you're not talking to yourself that why. So Kevin, what's your own thoughts?
Yes, absolutely not. You should not lose yourself in a relationship with someone, especially friendships. Like I don't subscribe to the idea of me giving all that I am, all of my time, all my effort into a friendship, and you're there just enjoying it. Like, I don't think that's a friendship. To me, that was never a friendship to begin with. Maybe you started off on common ground, and then somewhere along the lines things became different. And I feel like once that starts happening, you have to have a conversation. Hey, where are we? Are we really friends? Like, because it just feels like, oh, I'm always the one giving and you're the one that's kind of taking. So what is going on here? Are you really my friend? Because if you're really my friend, though, I should be able to come to you. I should be able to share as much as you share with me. I love being here for you. I love being, there for you when you need me. But I also need you to be there for me too. So I feel like if you start to feel like you're always giving, you're always going out of your way for this person, that person is not doing the same thing back, or you just feel like you're just giving too much. Step back. And talk to the person and ask them what's going on here. And if they're not ready to talk about it, then give them their space. That's just how I see it. I would give them their space. Let's give each other space and reevaluate this friendship. Maybe we'll come back and be friends, or maybe we'll just remain acquaintances, or whatever level of friendship we decide at that point.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give you a few seconds to get this sorted, because it's like you're holding your ear. You don't want your ear to fall off.
Yeah, I think I got it now.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. In line of losing yourself in a relationship, I want us to talk about betrayal. We've heard about. There was actually a pathetic story of a lady that I read online that brought someone in, a so-called friend. She brought the girl in. The girl actually ended up driving the girl from a matrimonial home and marrying the husband. So that's a support. In fact, she was like, she's my sister. I took her like my sister, blah, 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 and all that. So let's talk about betrayal. How do you get over that kind of a betrayal in a relationship? Bless you.
That's a strong question. Oh, God. Let me ask the question again.
How do you get over a betrayal of that magnitude?
Hell, I think first of all, the first step is to heal, right? Because when things like that happen, you can't get over anything until you heal, because you're going to stay angry. You're always going to be angry, and oftentimes people wouldn't do anything to probably come and they'll also get affected by that anger, because you end up transferring depression. So it's very important for you to work on making sure that you heal. And then after you heal, then you are able to deal with anything else. Because once you heal, then nobody can get to you. No, nothing can get to you anymore. You are at peace with yourself that okay, this happened. You take responsibility for the mistakes you made, where you were vulnerable, where you let fall down. If you have them, if you're too trusting, you start to set boundaries for yourself. About making sure that you're not giving trust too much, and at the same time not trusting too. So there are certain things you have to put yourself in check, and at the same time put the people around you in check. Because at the end of the day, you cannot trust anybody 100%. Because at the end of the day, we are all human, and like the Bible says, we always fall short. All have seen and fall short of the expectations and the glory of God. So we always fall short. So that's why we are always going back to ask for His mercy, right?
Okay, so let me come to you, Kemi, about what she just said. Okay, let's not even talk about the magnitude of you breaking your supposed friend's marriage. Let's talk about me bringing you into you're my closest friend, and then all of a sudden I found out you've killed me behind my back with your mouth. Now, how do you forgive that kind of a person? How do you get over that kind of a betrayal? Must you forgive that kind of a person?
I think we have to talk about what was said, or what was a conversation, or what was said. If word comes back to me that certain things were said, that clearly just doesn't make sense to me, I'm calling that person to sit down and talk first, and I'm gonna try to find out, where is this coming from? Like, how did we get to this point? And if there's no remorse, or there's no I just said what I said, I think it would take a lot. I would definitely remove myself from that relationship, give myself the space that I need to heal, to pray, to do a lot of searching within myself to come to a place where I feel like, okay, this thing that happened, I can move on from it. Yeah, I do believe that everybody deserves forgiveness. You should try and forgive. I think I saw something that was on your page the other day that said something about, I got access denied. I said that sums it up. I accept your apology, I forgive you, but no more access.
It can't be as usual.
It can't be the same again.
It can't. Some people will just say you can, but I personally can't.
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be very awkward. Is what I would.
Okay. Someone sent a question. Someone said, please, is it okay for a female friend to have a male as their best friend? Blessing.
I get that question all the time. All the time. Okay?
Yeah, we are listening.
It's okay for a girlfriend to have a male as their best friend. That's possible. That's extremely possible, because it's funny. Sometimes when you keep male friends and you keep female friends don't have time to overthink things. As women, I don't know if we are wired to overthink things. Like, we can overthink and stress about things, but guys are not like that. Quite frankly, I have some real friends that, if I have to talk, like Philip, for example, there's so many things that, if I want to talk about, we
can't hear you so clearly anymore. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Philip has been my friend for over 2 years. And we're very close friends before I got married. Up until this day, I'm still guilty of that. Things that will come to my mind and I want to talk about that. The first person I think of to talk about is Philip, because of the kind of bond we have, and because of how open he is and the way he thinks, and the answers is very rational and everything. And I know that that's will give me the kind of answer, or that will think about it and put things in perspectives for me. So it's not always it's not about gender. It's about what does that person bring to the table. If that person is really intelligent and is really impacting your life in a way that has helped you grow over the course of your relationship, then by all means, let that person stay your best friend.
All right, thank you so much, Blessing. Kevin, do you want to add anything to that? Because she just said some things that I really like about what is it, guy or lady, man or woman, what are they bringing to the table?
That's it.
What value are they adding to you?
Exactly.
That should actually be the point, not is a man, is a woman. I know everything is we've actually sexualized everything actually. So I think that's where that question is coming from, because everything is now about sex, sexualizing everything. So there are actually some relationships that are just like, they are man and woman, a man and a woman, but they are just friends.
Yes.
And I know Yoruba people will say Rekila Jambe Kunshi. That's what most men, and I think most of the time that question comes from a man, and they're like, I'm a man, I know I can't be a friend with another woman. They are speaking from their own perspective.
Right.
So I want you to just add something to that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Blessing on this one, that it doesn't matter about the gender, it's what the person brings to the table. But I do also want to add that the same way you have there should be boundaries in any relationship. So if you have boundaries with your female friends, have the same boundaries with your male friends. You know, if there's healthy boundaries and everybody understands, the level, of your friendship, nobody should be suspecting that, there's more to it than just friendship. I think it's because of the way our society is wired and the way social media is. Everybody just assumes that there's more to it than, you can't just be friends with a guy. But you can. As long as you have those boundaries in place, just like you have boundaries in a female relationship, have boundaries in a male relationship, that relationship can flourish. That friendship can be just as great as if you were friends with a female or otherwise.
All right. Thank you so much. So someone said not all men are understanding to allow their wives have a male best friend. But like Kemi just said, boundaries. I think that boundary thing should actually be focused on, because the thing is, yes, we were best friends before I got married, but now I am married. Blessing, are you there? Like, I know that
I'm here.
Now I'm married. You can't just come and jump on me when my husband is sitting there. Even if you used to do that to me when I was single, but now I have to respect even if he doesn't have anything against it, but it's on me. It's on me to respect my husband by not letting another guy come into the room and then jump on me on the bed and is punching me and
That is so funny, because something similar happened.
But not all at the same time. Not all my friends play like that.
Of course. Go on, Ken.
Okay, so something similar happened to me. I wasn't married yet. I was actually still courting my husband, and there was a guy that he's my friend, and we were like serious play fighting, and my fiance at the time was there, and I didn't think anything of it. We were just playing like how we normally play, and then after the guy left and everything, my mom and my sister was like, "Dad, what you were doing was so wrong. How can you be doing that in front of your fiance?" I was like, "But we normally play like that." The boundary was not there. Like, clearly I shouldn't have been playing that much with that guy when my fiance was present.
Even though you may not even have had a problem with it.
But it was just it could have been something else, because he could have started wondering like, you people more than friends, Even though he never said anything, but my mom and my sisters was like, that's too much. What you were doing was bad. So I had to caution myself.
All right. Thank you. So when you were talking the other time, you mentioned something about social media. Like, I want us to talk about the effect of social media on relationship. These days, I remember before telephone, before technology and all that, you could drive to just go see your friend. And then you just gist and gist. In fact, growing up in Nigeria, I would just come, once we're in the same neighborhood, we are outside playing and doing all this stuff. But technology has somehow impacted that. So I want to talk about the effect of social media on relationships. At times you see someone come on social media and tell you their story, and then the other person will come and say, it's not like that, she's doing it for the gram. So let's talk about the effect of social media on relationships. How has it impacted positive and what will I call it, symbiotic relationship?
Well, I think one thing social media has done is brought us together in a way that we probably never would have probably been able to connect with people before. You know, if you're in a different country, you can connect with your friend on Instagram or Facebook. You guys can chat, and there's not much of a barrier
Blessing
there.
says she chatted with an
Yeah. So there's not much of a barrier there. So I think that's one positive thing about social media. You can chat with your friend that's in Nigeria or in a different country, and you guys can be chatting like, you know, and I think some parts of Instagram, you can even do video call on there. So it just it connects people in that way. The other part of it is when this social media kind of gives a lot of people high expectations of people. We think because we see you post all these things that you're doing, we now know what's going on in your life. And we now have this expectation that when we see you in person, how you act on Instagram is how you should show up in front of people. But some people are not really who they are on Instagram. You know, they may be timid in person, but on Instagram they're talking, they're having lives, and you're just like, oh, this person seems like a really fun person, and then in real life you're like, yeah, no. And so now it you know, that expectation and that there's a blur. It now becomes blurry because it's like what you are on social media is different from what you are in person, and people have to be able to give you the grace that, even though like you're like this in one aspect, you may not be 100% like that all the time. And I also feel like there are all these unspoken rules that people always that I don't know if it's social media that brings it up. I don't know where people are getting these rules from, that if your friend is not doing this, she's not a friend. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, wait, who made you people, like, who made y'all the ruler of relationships and telling people like your friend has to be like this, and if they're not like that, they're not a true friend. Although some things I do agree with, but some things I think is just too much. It's like, I mean, why are you expecting so much from one person, especially if they have their own life outside of you? You're not the only person in their life, so you have to give people that grace to just be themselves and have their own life. It's not just you that they're friends with. They have other friends, they have other relationships they have to cater to as well. So I think that's some of the dynamics that I personally see with social media.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for joining Bumi the farmer. Thank you, Pimo. Hey, Pimo's here. Thank you, Pimo. Thank you, Bola. Thank you, Amaka. Thank you all for joining. I know I forgot to mention all your names when we started the show. So let me come back to you, Blessing, about the effect of social media on relationships. Kemi mentioned the part of, I'll call it being a two-faced. You are one person on social media and you're another person in real life. And someone sees you on social media and like, oh, I'd like to be a friend with this person. And then you guys plan to see, and then you see and you're like disappointed. So let's talk about what effect do you think social media brought positivity to relationships, or do you think he affected it negatively?
I think it does both, but it depends on the individual. I think social media is a tool, and I think individuals use it, in one way or the other. You can use it positively, and you can use it negatively. Either way, the way you use it shows the kind of the level of your self-esteem. For me, I'm a very person, and what you see, as a matter of fact, before this call, you remember when I came into the room and you were like, I should have some makeup, and I was like, this is me. Like when I do my social media stuff and everything, it's my personality. I don't stress myself to present a different image of you. So I don't like to present a different image of myself because it's stressful to have to impress people and
two personality, yeah.
It's different, it's a different thing. So that's stressful. So I feel like for people who have decided to use it positively, it has helped them. But for people who have decided, focus on the negatives, they have to also deal with the stress when they have to face reality. So the beginning and end of this is that we should try as much as possible to be honest with ourselves as individuals, and then the two will serve us, because social media was made for us and not the other way around.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So she said something about you using social media. Okay, because when she was talking, the thought that came to my mind is all these social media influencers, and you see them, they are telling you that this is what I do, or like they are influencing a product at that point in time, but then when you buy the product doesn't work for you because I don't know, maybe because your skin tone is different, but you were not buying it because of your skin tone. You were buying it because Blessing is selling a Tara baby.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm just trying to think in my head the effect of like I said all the time, there was a story and then the other person's perspective came up. I believe it was because there was social media. If there was no social media and we have issues, we'll sit down and trash it out together as friends.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think that social media does make people kind of divided when there's an issue. It's like, oh, I'm on this person's side versus this person's side.
Yeah, because the issue was brought on social media.
Right. And so therefore it makes everybody choose a side without knowing the whole story. I'm kind of one of those people that waits to hear the whole story before I jump on whose side I want to be on or whatever the case may be, because a lot of times and a lot of times some of these, like you mentioned about the influencers, just because they're selling a product doesn't mean you shouldn't go do your own research on that product. Doesn't mean that, oh, you should just be like, oh, because that one person is buying it, I must buy it. Like, you have no idea what's in that product and how it can affect you, or how it can negatively affect you or positively affect you. Don't just jump on something because someone said it's good. I believe there's room for you to do your own research and learn what the product does, or learn what is behind the scenes of whatever they're doing, because there's a lot going on behind the scenes too that you have no idea about, and they just come and bring it out on social media and you jump on it and you have no idea what's going on in the behind the scenes. Same thing when conflict comes up. You know, we all jump into one side. We haven't seen the full story.
Yeah, but because this is the person I'm following, I'm just following.
Right, I'm following her. So
saying Kemi did this to me.
Right,
and we are all ready to
crucify Kemi without knowing Kemi's side of the story. And then and that's how a lot of people get canceled, quote unquote. They got canceled in social media in real life because you heard one side of the story. And that's the danger of it. Like, I always want to hear both sides. I want to hear the full story. And if I'm not going to get the full story, then I'm just going to, stay out of it. Mind my business. Like, what's my own with the conflict between two people that they didn't call me into,
Yeah, okay.
So.
All right. Thank you both so much. So, with all we've said today, Blessing, let me ask you, how do you feed, how should you feed your relationship? How do you said something the other time, I grow, you grow. How do you feed your relationship for growth? Blessing? Blessing, can you still hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Oh yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So for me, there's something we do where we hold each other accountable. So my friends make this rule where we always have to hold each other accountable. Our relationship shouldn't always be about catching up, eating, drinking. So we have goals, right? There are things that are important to us individually, and there are things that are important to us collectively. And so as individuals, we try to hold each other accountable and help each other grow by setting goals and making sure we're keeping up with each other to see that we are all achieving these goals that we're setting for ourselves. And if somebody has any issues trying to achieve a goal, and we can help either by giving the person contact, connecting the person with somebody, helping the person in whichever way we can, we try as best as we can to help each other. Because at the end of the year, we're going to have a meeting and try to see if we achieve the goals we set for ourselves for the year, and how we can plan to achieve more things the next year. That way, everybody's growing. Everybody's sharing success stories. When it's not just one person successful and the other people are just saying, "Hey, yeah, thank God for you," So that's how we do it.
Wow. Thank you so much. I like that. Hold each other accountable. Hold each other accountable. Like, what's your plan for the year? What have you met your targets? What do you need to do to meet your targets? I want to know. I like that. Thank you so much. Let me ask you too, Kemi. How do you feed your relationship for growth?
Definitely, like I said, Blessing said, definitely holding each other accountable is definitely key. I also believe in supporting each other. If your friend has a business or whatever it is that they're doing, and you show support in one way or another, it doesn't necessarily have to be always have to be buying their products alone. It could also be, showing them platforms where they can, share their products to, or sharing it with someone else that you think could benefit from their, product or whatever it is they're selling. And I also believe communication is always key. I feel like people are afraid to share the truth with each other, or maybe we shy away from sharing the truth with each other. Oh, I don't want them to say, oh, my own is too much, or I'm being judgmental. I think there's room for sharing the truth with each other, being honest with each other, not harsh, not rudely, not just saying whatever you say or saying in front of people and just blasting people's business, but like calling each other together and being honest. And of course, if you're people of faith, praying together, having that, maybe studying the word together, whatever it is that could be part of the reasons that bind you together, and you're watching each other grow in so many different aspects of life.
All right, thank you both so much. Thank you, Kemi, and thank you to Blessing. So I promised we are going to be done by 4 o'clock. So I'm just going to skip some things and just go to you, Blessing. What advice would you give someone that is struggling? I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. We have some people that are actually like, maybe they've been betrayed before, and that other person wants to come in, and you are still struggling with that. So what kind of advice can you give someone like that?
If I understand you correctly, are you saying somebody that's betrayed, and then the person that betrayed me wants to be my friend
to get into the circle, is saying you talked to us about second chances. Yeah. So what kind of advice would you give someone that is struggling?
Well, it's like, first of all, if you feel like you are viewed, which is the most important thing, and you feel like you're ready to give the person a second chance, it's possible to do that. But then you just know that you set boundaries, and you always be on your guard with that person. You always look out, and you will not be too trusting, because that person has disappointed you before. So you cannot give 100% trust to that person, because if it happens again, then it's on you. You know, when they say if you hurt me once, that's on me. Hurt me twice, So that's on me. So you have to be really careful with those kinds of people. You forgive, but you cannot forget. The memory of whatever the person stays with you, that's what will help you to always watch out and look out and make sure that the person doesn't hurt you again. And if you notice that the person is trailing that path, you have a conversation immediately to make sure that you guys are on the same page, and what happened before is not about to repeat itself.
All right, thank you so much. So, Kami, do you agree with that?
Yes, I definitely agree, and I definitely believe that a conversation needs to be had before we can even say, oh, we're going to become whatever it is that we want to become again. If it's obviously the friendship won't be at the same level, but if we're going to say, okay, we'll start from somewhere, small steps, you know what I'm saying? But we also have to have a conversation. A conversation has to be had. You have to state your expectations in that relationship, because now, they've shown you one side of them that you don't want to ever experience again. So it's important to have a conversation with them and state your expectations. I feel like sometimes people don't state their expectations, and then people and then the expectations are in your mind, but you never said it to the other person. Then they do something that
you're disappointed,
and you're like, and the person's like, I never knew that you expected that of me. So I believe it's important to state your expectations, be upfront about everything, and let that person know this is what I'm expecting. If you cannot, if it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. But if we can agree to those expectations, beautiful. We can probably build up a good friendship again.
Oh wow, thank you so much. So one last thing before we leave, we have one last thing, because I actually wanted to start with this, but I decided to. Thank God, I almost forgot. So Blessing, let me ask you, how do you do away with toxic relationship? Some people are toxic. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not about you.
Right.
It's actually not about you. It's about them. So what do you do? How do you do away with toxic relationships? Before I go,
that's where I said I would the relationship. You have to evaluate the relationship apart from that person's toxic personality. What else does that person bring to the table? There are some people that have very, very bad habits, bad characters, probably don't know how to talk. Their delivery of certain messages are awful, but they also have good sides to them. in the sense that if you're in very tight corner, or if you are at your lowest and you need help, if you have to call somebody and you call them, you know that they will come through for you. And then there are people that they're all loving, they're all caring, they're amazing, they're the perfect friends. They don't have the capacity for you when you need them at your lowest. So you have to do a thorough evaluation. I'm being very detailed about that kind of picture right. So you have to evaluate the friendship to see, apart from this ugly, because we're all humans, we're not perfect, but apart from this ugly part side of this person, is there anything else that serves you? If 90 or 80% of the person's personality serves you, serves your growth, then the best thing to do is to set boundaries in the relationship. Try as much as possible to minimize the opportunities that you give the person to notice you. And try as much as possible to set boundaries that set you in the relationship. Because at the end of the day, you cut the person off, you may end up being the one that would lose more than the person. Because for that person, that's their personality, that's their people who know them, who understand them, who can deal with them, know how to manage them. It's all about knowing how to manage people, right? When we cut, that makes it true.
Okay. So, all right. Thank you, Blessing. Yeah, thank you, Blessing. I understand what you're saying. But tell me, let me ask your thoughts about that. You know, before you can say this person is toxic, you must have gone through a whole lot for you to say that. Yeah.
It's tough because I feel like we can have different levels of toxic relationship. It might not just be friendship. Maybe somebody in your family that's like that too. And how do you cut off from somebody like that? They're your family member. You can't really, although some people believe you can cut off from people and just, I personally don't believe that. I think you can distance yourself, definitely, especially if you're the type of person that doesn't care about boundaries. Because you can have the boundaries and they keep walking all over it because they're just that toxic of a person that they just don't care about your boundaries. And I feel like that's just not enough for someone like that. I feel like you really have to be intentional about distancing yourself. Yourself. If you don't, if they do things that trigger you, especially, we advocate for mental health. So if this person is obviously doing things that are very triggering, there is need to distance yourself. Not necessarily cut off, but distance, to be able to manage that relationship from afar if need be. But toxic people are very difficult to deal with. Like I said, friendship is a different level. What about family members, God will help us.
Amen. Thank you both so much. So we're rounding up. So let me ask you what your final thoughts is, so we can round this up. Just give us what you think about relationship. Everything we've talked about today. What are your final thoughts?
In everything, I would just say be intentional. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. If any relationship is draining you mentally, taking too much away from you, it's not worth it. Life is already hard on it. So nobody should cause you any extra stress or pain. With people out there that would love you, accept you, and have mutually beneficial relationships with you. So you don't have to
put yourself over one of the relationship. Thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you. Okay, Kemi, what's your own final thoughts?
My final thought is to, based on a lot of the things that we said today, is to just constantly evaluate the type of relationships you have with people. Have conversations that need to be had. Sometimes there need to be hard conversations that need to be had. I know some people are afraid to, go to that level with people because they're like, oh, I'll lose them if I say this or I say that. But if that happens, then that kind of makes you realize, okay, that explains the relationship, but if those conversations need to be had for you to move forward, so you're not constantly giving and not getting what you need from these said relationships, then it needs to happen. So I do encourage people to have conversations, constantly communicate with people that you're friends with, family members, set your boundaries, be intentional, like Blessing said, and just be there for each other, but always, have those conversations that need to be had.
All right. Thank you so much, Kemi. So thank you both of you for those wonderful final thoughts. But I'm just going to add something. I always tell people that if you have friends and nobody can tell you when you're messing up, you need to reassess your circle.
Amen.
If you're in a relationship, you have friends that can tell you, oh, Odun, you even if they support you while other people were there, but when it was just the both of you, that person could not tell you you misbehave, you misbehaved that other time. You need to reassess your circle. If you're in a relationship that is just taking and taking and taking and taking and taking from you, and you just keep giving and giving and giving just to maintain that relationship, you need to step back and reassess. If you're in a relationship that you've been hurt or betrayed before, and that person is coming back and trying to ask for forgiveness, like they both said, you need to step back, reassess, have that conversation. Don't sweep things under the rug. Have the conversation, talk about it, and then finally hold each other accountable. Keep relationships that you can call and say, have you met your target today? Be intentional. Blessing said that. Be intentional about your relationship and the people you bring into your circle. I do that a lot. And so far, in fact, I don't have any stories of betrayal, so let's leave it like that. Thank you all so much. Blessing, I want to thank you. Thank you, and thank you, Atara, because we had our boys all through. Thank you so much, Kemi, for coming. Thank you for the time. It means a lot. I don't take these things for granted. You are trying to call people and they're like, what's the show? We don't even know her. We don't even know the show. But it takes a lot for people to sacrifice to be there and to support you. And that's one other thing. If you have a friend that is not supporting you, reassess it though. Reassess that relationship. But thank you all so much. But I need to say something before we go. The next episode will be Viewpoints, not Real Talk. We'll be having Viewpoint the last Saturday of this month. Towards the end of the year, we have a lot of activities. So most likely, Real Talk will just come up one more time this year before 2021. I'm not sure, but I think that is what is visible as of now. So until whenever we come again, whenever we come to your screen, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Uzo. Thank you, Amaka. Thank you, Tope. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everybody that tuned in today. And I know we always do giveaways on this show, but there was really no conversation on this topic for today. So, but we'll see how it goes. How we do it. So catch you all next time. My name is still Odun. I'm still your friend. I'm still your sister. I'm still someone else's daughter, and I'm still a fellow woman like you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Blessing.
Bye.
Bye, Atara, baby. Bye.
Bye.